Batavia down. With more, lots more.
Folks, welcome in. I might be a little out of focus. Come on, camera. But we are focused in on this week of wrestling. And we're not wrestling with our budgets. We're not wrestling with our... What's the other line, Slick?
Conscience.
We are wrestling with emotion. Huge shout out to Slick L. And we got a special guest, Ryan Hasnauer of Batavia Downs, in for what is going to be a Survivor Series War Games edition, it feels like. We'll get into the Continental Classic starting tonight and much more. But as we used to do on this show, and maybe it's fitting to do right now, let's talk about the state of wrestling and everything. We all talked in the pre-show. By the way, getting right into it, sponsored by, of course, Batavia Downs, the region's premier entertainment destination. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the state of wrestling right now, it just feels like 2 years ago, you couldn't miss like 3 days of wrestling. And now with respect to some storylines, it feels like you can miss 2 or 3 weeks of wrestling and kind of pick it up where you left off. Slick, I'm curious your thoughts on what storylines you're liking now and what's maybe sticking out most. And then Ryan, yours as well.
Sure. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Maniac, because as of right now, I was telling you guys pre-show, have been slacking on Wednesdays a little bit, which is unlike me. Slick L has been all elite since close to the start, so I've been trying to keep up. But Full Gear really brought me back around with some storylines I hadn't fully been paying attention to. I like the fact that the Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman are all kind of coming around. And Maniac, you and I obviously are ecstatic. Swerve is back, likely looking like he's going to team with Hangman. WWE had me in a lull as well. I'm not going to lie. The thing that I've really been tuning in for ultimately is John Cena's retirement farewell tour, which I wasn't too satisfied much with the heel run. I thought it was really funny. It got old. Maniac and I were there for SummerSlam when they decided to turn it around. It wasn't the best explanation how they just turned him face again, but it really did hit when he came out that time with the colors on his Tron. I've enjoyed the rest of his face run, so I think they probably should have done that from the jump. But yeah, kind of been a lull period for the most part amongst both companies, up until I feel like WWE is really pushing this War Games lineup, and to their credit, it's a really stacked lineup, and I'm excited to watch that as well.
Yeah, I agree with you about War Games and WWE. As you said, Maniac, a couple of years ago, you couldn't miss WWE, and I think that they kind of had a little bit of a funk here at the beginning of 2025. And again, this whole John Cena heel thing, I personally enjoyed it. I mean, I watched it just the other day on YouTube, going back and seeing that clip of him, laughing at The Rock getting dissed, then him hugging him and then doing the thing. And it was like, this is unbelievable. Like,
no, that moment for sure was great.
Ryan, we were even talking the Raw after that. Like, how electric was that Buffalo crowd as CM Punk was just screaming about how Dwayne was like a bald asshole or whatever he was like talking to, like it was a very hot angle. There were great moments throughout. I mean, to me, and I look at everything pop culture. I always say it back. It reminds me of Star Wars episode 1 through 3, where like they weren't the best, but like you were still getting bits and pieces and very memorable. Like when like Travis Scott coming out at WrestleMania wasn't memorable for the fact that he was there. It was memorable for how long he looked and how stupid it looked. Like the fact that he took like 4 minutes to make it to the ring, and Cena just had to laugh because like there was nothing else he could do. Him pointing out that kid in the crowd. Like, I mean, that was like a top meme moment of the summer. I agree with you. It's like 100%. We were jumping up and down for joy when they turned Cena back micro face before SummerSlam. But yeah, it just feels like it kind of invalidated a little bit. Like, it feels like there was more you could have done with the Cena heel run, is all I'll say. I think they left a little meat on that bone. And yeah, like it just feels, I think Ryan, you alluded to it. It just feels like they've been kind of stuck in neutral with some of the storylines. I mean, I know we all loved the tribal thief at the start, but then it felt like they were in that storyline for like 3 to 5 months when, you want to see people interacting with other people, especially when Roman isn't there every week. Obviously, it's a tough foil when your top guy, or especially in that storyline, isn't there every week. But yeah, overall, and now with the AEW slick, I think you hit the nail on the head. After Full Gear, we're back into it. Ryan, I know, obviously, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. It's been an amazing run now in AEW. What do you think of her taking 2 losses now to Toni Storm and then to Statlander? She's kind of doing the job, as they say.
Well, she's doing the job with 14 belts or whatever she's got wrapped around her waist there. It's interesting. Like, I obviously respect her. She's an amazing wrestler and she's good on the mic and all those other things. You wonder about having that much gold tied up with one person. I hope what they're doing. And I was watching another, podcast, about wrestling, just trying to stay up on it. When I can't watch it, I try to at least stay up on the recaps. And the presenter was saying something I agree with, which is that if her failing to get the WWE championship is kind of like, this is her white whale, right? And she's Ahab and she's trying to get the white whale and she can't seem to do it. If she starts to shed all her other belts and then in pursuit of this, that could be a great long-term storyline. She continues to show up on these other shows, which is good for those shows and good for wrestling, indie wrestling as a whole. So it's really interesting, kind of what they're doing with her for sure.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I just want to get back to, because we're still talking about how stacked it is for War Games and for Survivor Series. I got to tell you, I mean, you've got a lot of heavy hitters on both these sides, and obviously Roman opening up, Raw, and having Cody come down and everybody else coming down, the whole thing. That is super exciting to me. Like having all the big people there. As much as I love the mid carders and I love the goofy wrestling and I like all the small stuff too. There's just something unbelievable about seeing like the people that make you pop when their music hits and having them out there and have them jaw back and forth. And I think even the women's one is going to be awesome too. I mean, Becky with a really great promo there. She still tried in Nia Jax a little bit, going back to their whole thing, which was pre-Survivor Series where she broke her nose and the whole thing. So I'm very excited to see both of these Survivor Series matches with the men and the women.
As stacked as you could get on the men's side, and I'm just only realizing this now. If you want to count the bronze, you have a total of 5 guys in this match. That could be a whole team in this match of guys that have been managed by Paul Heyman. So just like the volumes that speak when you look at the greats that Paul Heyman has gone beside in the business is pretty crazy and noteworthy alone that you should be tuning in for this. I'm really excited. I think I saw today the last time Brock Lesnar was in a tag match was in 2006. Don't quote me on this. In NJPW with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Wow, that's a deep pull. That's a deep pull right there.
Because
Crazy,
obviously
right?
they were making a major deal of when he was about to tag team with Cody Rhodes the night after WrestleMania 2 years ago now. No, 2 years ago now.
That made so much sense.
That made literally. Cody just turns his back on him right away. Speaking of turning your back, we can't turn our back on our supporters over at Batavia Down. So let's get into some train wreck trivia.
Batavia Down is more, lots more.
We're going to be doing a lot of SummerSlam and a lot of this date in history. I'll give you that spoiler.
Survivor Series.
Of course. So I looked back in the Survivor Series history. It really used to be these war games, these big team type matches. What was the first Survivor Series main event, which was a one-on-one? When was the first one-on-one Survivor Series main event? I'll give you a hint. Early 90s.
1990?
Early 90s. I'll give you 91. I'll give you 91.
Early 90s.
91. Jeez.
I'm bad at these things, but I gotta think.
Why do I feel like the Undertaker is involved?
Because the Undertaker was involved.
Okay. There you go. There's one.
As the challenger.
Oh, is it Stone Cold?
It's not Stone Cold. This was you're about 5 years early on the Stone Cold pop. 5 to 6. Which means
I want to say Bret Hart.
Bret Hart actually main evented next year as the champion against Shawn Michaels.
Is that who it is?
No. It's a different wrestler.
Ryan, what do you got?
It couldn't be somebody like Macho Man at that point still, right?
You're knocking on the door.
Trying to think who else would be adjacent to that. But it's not Ric Flair. He's not around then doing that, is he?
Nope. It's R.I.P. the legend, Hulk
The
Hogan.
Hulkster. Yep.
Oh,
The
geez.
19
Oh man, I thought that might have been too late.
Pardon my resident. No, for sure. Like that's what I was thinking. I'm like 91. Was that before no, this was and even more so the first one-on-one Survivor Series match when they were only doing 4 a year essentially. So that's a big pop for Hulk Hogan again. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. Was lucky to meet him earlier this year, but that's our train wreck trivia. We'll have much more brought to you by Batavia Downs. As we get into the rest of our topics for tonight, we kind of just had an overarching one, Ryan. We talked about how, we've all kind of watched it from a distance this year. I think both companies have had down years, by the way. Shout out my nasal spray being next to the glass of wine here on Thanksgiving Eve. Both companies have had like down years in like with their lofty expectations and everything. But my question to both of you, who has had like less of a down year? Who has had the stronger year overall for their program and reputation? Would it be WWE, who's had some stuff stuck in neutral, but also had some big returns and clearly done some big ticketed shows? Or would it be AEW, who's kind of held serve, didn't have a strong first half of the year, but since All In, Full Gear, Slick, they've been picking it up? I'm curious, thoughts, AEW or WWE looking back on it for 2025 as a better year?
It's so tough, Maniac, because, WWE always starts the year strong with their WrestleMania. And then they no matter what they do in the period between, it seems like it's longer than it is, but it's not all that big of a gap between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. So they can dominate that period with ease if they want to, which I don't know if they dominated WrestleMania to SummerSlam, but both shows were great. Ever since then, I feel like it has been a lull, and AEW was the primary focus that I was focused on. Whether it was WWE storylines were getting stale or they were trying new ones that just didn't stick with me, I was keeping up more with AEW. But then you got to consider the injury plague that AEW's roster has had throughout not just this whole year, but going back a couple years now, including, I think, one of the first pay-per-views earlier in the year, Adam Cole coming out and saying he's concerned he might never wrestle again. Like, these are key guys always getting on the shelf in AEW, so that doesn't help where they can go story-wise. I think they've done a great job adjusting. Darby coming back, getting involved in those storylines with the Death Riders, kicking Jon Moxley's ass, and Moxley surprisingly putting guys over, putting over Kyle O'Reilly in a no-holds-barred at Full Gear. I am going to say AEW just for the fact that I haven't really cared about a WWE PLE about since as much as Survivor Series since SummerSlam, in which we were at over the summer.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. You kind of termed it best there, Zach, saying that they held serve. I think, AEW is not as volatile. I think they just kind of are consistent with good wrestling, good storylines. They've been dealing with the injuries. A lot of people are saying, there's a lot of retread, storylines in WWE. It's like, oh, Cody versus Roman again. They're all hanging out again. Oh, we've got, these specific women going at it again. I think they've tried to change things up in the recent, like the last couple of weeks. And, just like anything, the Royal Rumble sets up other storylines for WrestleMania and throughout the year. This is an opportunity to tell storylines within the War Games and within the Survivor Series match that can again get you to WrestleMania season again. So I feel like WWE was on such a high at the end of 2024 and at the beginning of 2025. I feel like, again, I've tuned in, but I just haven't felt the passion like I had all throughout 2024. So I'd have to agree that AEW's had less of a down year.
That's another great point you got. Sorry, Maniac, real quick. WWE has that tilt still in the beginning of the year. Royal Rumble is another thing that adds on to it. So, yeah, WWE heavy first half of the year. And then, in my eyes, AEW picked up. Maniac, what do you think?
No, I agree with you guys for the most part. I think that overall, as far as the piece of the pie, everything they did, I think that WWE just had a slightly lesser year than AEW. Again, people will be able to slam this with ticket sales, et cetera, everything. But as far as a brand, as far as what you're trying to do, considering what both of them had to deal with, I do think that AEW put forth a better year. Again, like when I was at WWE SummerSlam, when we were there both nights, like that Tron was knocking our faces off. Like Ryan, you have to get to one of these new shows with the bigger
Yeah.
Trons and some of the things they're doing. AEW can definitely catch up in that regard. I think they started to do it at Full Gear. You've seen them kind of get rid of the tunnels, right? Slick. I mean, the tunnels were a great idea creatively for sure, and they definitely created hype when someone turned, etc. But for being able to display a superstar, it's much better to have like a big screen with big video effects that you can work off of. And I think the WWE, I mean, I'm telling you, everyone's trying. Ryan, I had a sensory overload when Cena came out.
Sure.
Because it went from that pitch black from the night before or whatever to like the red, white, and blue, like right into your retinas. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but
Nobody does production. Yeah.
Seriously,
like
no.
WWE.
And WWE's had that. I don't know what like the formula is, but they've had that since the 90s. Like their video, like programming, everything. It's always been top notch, and that's definitely something AEW can always work to get better at. When I look at the product, though, the wrestlers, the product, everything. The one last comparison I want to drop is funny, is because we were so sick of Moxley by the end of his run, for sure. Like he just deserved to lose. He was getting helped every time. I get it. It was kind of a copy of Roman Reigns. And his run. Now, the only difference being that you had Sami Zayn and the Bloodline come in like halfway through the reigns of it all, and that really like gassed it. Like everybody was behind that.
The reason it was boring in AEW is because the Death Riders don't touch the level of the Bloodline. Not only like the connection they had to the tribal chief himself, but like their own reputations as wrestlers going into it. And I'm not saying Claudio or Marina Shafir or any of them didn't have good reputations as wrestlers. It was just the fact that they were all already prominent figures in WWE storylines that got tied into the Bloodline in significant ways. And it played out in an avenue for all of them. Like they all got their shine throughout that.
It was literally
2+
cinema
years.
from the Jey Uso reactions to Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso good vibes to the Paul Heyman of all. It was all cinema. I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say with the zoom in on the face. Like I'm telling you, I could cite out like 10 to 12 moments. You can't cite out those moments from the Death Rider side. And again, that's not a diss on them. It's just the Bloodline and Reigns were A+ at that level for sure. So it's just very interesting to compare, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Moxley of it all. Because I don't know, like, I don't think he can have a run again soon in AEW, truthfully, but I think he can find a way to still be entertaining and a top guy without it.
Is he finally going to take that vacation?
Yeah. Well, you got to go away for a little bit, right? Jericho went away for a while, and you can't believe it, but people are like, I wonder it would be kind of cool if Jericho comes back in either company, wherever he shows up. But sometimes you got to go away for a while, and make us miss you, and then it's all exciting when you come back.
Speaking of that, Ryan, do you think Jericho's headed to WWE? Do you think he's headed to John Cena's retirement tour, or is he right back in AEW?
I don't know if he's heading back for the retirement tour, but I have a feeling that, he's the Madonna of wrestling, right? He always reinvents himself and makes himself relevant again. I feel like if he comes back to WWE, I'll be excited to see what he's going to do, because if the lights go down and the countdown starts on the screen, the place is going to go absolutely nuts. And then you just have to you can't be more than what you're supposed to be. At this point, he's not a wrestler that's going to go win the WWE championship. But if he can be like either the jerk, leader of a heel stable and like take some people under his wing and get them, just doing shenanigans or whatever, he'd be great in that role. Cause that's kind of where he was with the Learning Tree when he went away from AEW.
Maniac, is that the guy that could cost Cena at Survivor Series against one Dom Mysterio?
And would be good. The thing is Edge fits a lot better in that spot. That's my only thing, is that for both superstars, Edge fits a lot better.
You might have a point, and like that's an even better point too, because Edge was like the founder of the Judgment Day.
Yes.
But could you throw him back into that spot and like after they did what they did to him, just be like, I'm gonna come back and try and fix this because Rhea and Priest aren't here anymore?
That's fair. That's fair. But the thing is, like, the Judgment Day, like literally, it's funny. The Judgment Day kind of just became like a animated villain series once they took over. If you remember, during the Edge like phase of it, his whole thing was like the public are idiots. Like, remember, you're all dumbasses. Like, like it was actually kind of funny. It was captivating TV. But they
It was
had like
pretty
a
good.
reason. Like when they became the Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor Judgment Day, it was just more like their music hit every time a face like came out to start Raw. Remember that meme of like
Oh,
20
that
late
yeah,
2024 or whatever? That was
that
outstanding.
was ridiculous.
But speaking of memes and speaking of outstanding, let's fire up some outstanding train wreck trivia courtesy of our friends at Batavia Downs.
Batavia Downs. More, lots more.
Given on this date in WWF history, this man won the WWF Championship in 1994 on this day at a house show in Madison Square Garden. 1994 house show, Madison Square Garden. Other hint? 8 seconds.
What in 8 seconds? Was it like the main event?
I assume
House show, so it's like hard
house
to
show.
know,
And it
I
was-
guess.
So it was, and listen to this. It was 3 days after the superstar who lost in 8 seconds defeated Bret Hart in a throw in the towel match for the WWF Championship at Survivor Series. So this guy beat Bret Hart in a 35-minute match. I'm looking right now. A 35-minute match in 1994. This guy beat Bret Hart, and then 3 days later lost it in 8 seconds to this guy at an MSG house show.
Oh, so
gotta
we're
think, like,
guessing.
You got to think
Okay.
phenom, young superstar at this point.
Wait, so we're guessing who won in 8 seconds?
Yes, who won in 8 seconds?
That's not.
Did you give us a clue?
Bob Backlund was the guy who lost in 8 seconds.
Oh, this is like a transition title type situation.
Oh my God. Okay.
So they're using Bob Backlund to kind of just to move it over there.
But
Is
you
it
have to
The
remember
Rock?
that
So
Bob
you're
Backlund
talking-
also beat Bret Hart in a 35-minute match 3 days before.
Is it The Rock?
Nope.
So this is early 90s. This is pre WCW, all that stuff.
94.
Yep.
94.
Yep.
Is it Kevin Nash or is it Diesel?
Kevin Nash, Diesel.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
snipe, Brian.
Yeah.
Bell
I
ring,
just say
kick to the gut, power bomb, 1, 2, 3.
That
there's
makes
like a
lot of
very
sense.
short list. There's a very short list of titles that changed at house shows. And of
Yeah.
course, MSG is a place where you'll do it because of course it's still, their home arena, if you will. They
Oh,
like to
yeah,
call it that. I remember I forgot if that wasn't a botch finish, that was planned.
No,
That
that
wasn't
was
one of those things-
100% planned. I'm
Yeah.
confused now, just looking back though, why Bret Hart had to put on a 35-minute classic.
But
If this
that's
guy
what
gonna
I was
drop it
just
8 minutes
wondering.
late-
With Bob
3 days
Backlund?
later. Dude, I'm more puzzled about that aspect of it than I've ever been about anything in the world of wrestling right now.
They're just like, oh, he's Bret Hart. He can go 35.
By the way,
did
it
Hart
was
not
a-
want
it
a
was a-
job?
It was
He didn't want a job
listen to this.
to
It was a throw in the towel match. It says after 35 minutes, Helen Hart threw Bret Hart's towel in the ring.
at least then he didn't take the pin, right?
Yeah, he didn't take the
He,
pin.
sa-
I didn't
he
take
saves
that.
face there. Sure.
And that was probably the typical too. I'm assuming Helen's his wife got like he was put in like a very dire situation, and she was
Yeah,
already
no, it
ringside
probably
and
like was like
protect
he
him,
wasn't
yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
able to win somehow, but he
very
wasn't going to lose.
very protected L.
Yes, again, very protected L. Speaking of which, you don't take L's when we go to Batavia Downs. You only win more, lots more. Ryan, we have a huge weekend on tap with Survivor Series War Games, which we've mentioned, but we also have a huge weekend on tap over at the region's premier entertainment destination.
Indeed. So we got 3 full days of fun. Of course, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully everyone has a great time. We are sold out for Thanksgiving meals inside of Fortunes tomorrow. So congrats to all the people that got reservations for that, all 300 of you, whoever that is. But Friday is going to be our friends from Nerds Gone Wild. Shout out to Eddie Tabone for getting into the Niagara Falls Music Hall of Fame in the last couple of weeks here.
Wow.
And so the nerds, like they do each and every Thanksgiving weekend, we either have them on the Friday or the Saturday. This year we're going with the Friday, so we're going to have those guys out there. But something that we started last year, guys, that it was something that I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was something I had come up with in my head, and I wanted to do it for like 3 years, and we just never pulled the trigger on it. And we finally did it last year, and it's a huge success. And that is doing a bar crawl, but a completely enclosed bar crawl at Batavia Downs. We have 4 or 5 bars, and so we thought, well, you go to a bar crawl, you're walking up and down Chippewa, or you're wherever you're at, and you got to leave the bar, you got to go here, you got to go there. Oh, we left somebody back there, you got to move all around. Well, at Batavia Downs, we have all of our bars just in the same building. We got the clubhouse, we've got 34 Rush, we got the Gatsby Bar, and of course, inside of Park Place, where our friends from the Nerds are going to be playing, we've got the bar in there. So what we're doing is we're having it where you pay for a ticket, you get 4 drink tickets, and what you're able to do is go to each one of those bars between 5 and 8 o'clock, redeem for your drink ticket, get a drink, and then of course take a Nerds at 8 o'clock when they take the stage. So the Batavia Downs beer crawl, we did one for Easter with the Nerds as well. We're doing one on this coming Friday night. Tickets are still available. You can buy them at the door if you don't want to get them online. You can avoid paying those online fees if you just buy them from our gift shop there when you walk in the lobby. I'll be there myself to help hand you out those tickets, and we'll send it right up to the clubhouse. The Sabres play at 4 o'clock, so as you move through the building, hopefully you're watching the Sabres take care of business on a Friday afternoon. So we'll have all the other games on. I'm sure there's a few college basketball and college football games on Friday as well. So we'll have that all on for everybody on Friday night, and then Saturday we have live racing. No racing on Friday, but we'll have live racing on Saturday, and then on Sunday we're welcoming our good friend Thurman Thomas in for the Thurman Thomas tailgate party.
If there's
So come on out.
vibes
Yeah.
right. It's 34 at 34 Rush for sure.
At 34 Rush. So yeah, come in 4:25 start. We'll have all the. You can also do is get yourself entered into the contest we're having at Players Club, where you can get yourself a pair of tickets to the final game of the season, the regular season, which at this point, guys, might be the last game in the stadium.
Hey, we were talking about that earlier. That's going to be a rowdy one for sure.
Yes.
Based on just that alone.
We're talking about people are going to be grabbing parts of the stadium. It's gonna be a scene for sure.
It is. Yeah, I have no doubt. When we were at the preseason game, a little chip of concrete came off of the underside of our seat. And I told my son, I was like, take that with you in your pocket. Because there's 2 reasons. This is why we need a new stadium. Number 1, because this thing's falling apart. And number 2 is like, you're probably not going to get back in the stadium the rest of the year because he's 11, so I'm not taking him to the regular season games.
No, I get
it. Yeah, so it's like, put that on your mantle. That's a piece of the old stadium. I'm sure the rest of it will be up for sale soon.
Right there, kid.
Yeah. So we got Thurman doing that. So we got the halftime drawing for tickets. And at the end, we're going to do a Bills prize pack. Give you like a Bills coaster set, Bills backpack, a couple other things. So great times. And you get a picture with Thurman at halftime. He does have a contract, so he can't do the autograph thing, but we're happy to have him take pictures with folks. And you can come out and just bring your cell phone. We'll have staff there to snap it for you.
It's really no one's fault. I wish there was like a way that everyone just knew about the autograph thing. Cause Thurman would sign for anyone and everyone. He's a great guy, likes to hang out with everyone.
Right.
So listen, it's a contracted situation. It's like you're basically a professional player for these signing industries. So, but with that said, awesome time at Batavia Downs. I don't want to reflect too much because we're looking ahead here, but just rocking the Downs to all the events that we've gone at Batavia Downs. It's been amazing to do those all year and can't wait for obviously what's ahead. But listen, we're not looking ahead. We're looking too far ahead. We're looking to Friday where we will be there with the Nerds. We're looking for a big Sabres win and some great Black Friday action at Batavia Downs. Speaking of action, let's look ahead to what we got real quick tonight on AEW Dynamite. So Ryan, with the refresh after Full Gear this past weekend, Slick will be starting the Continental Classic.
We're bangers on this.
We're anticipating though that this is going to come down to some Don Callis family feud, right?
Everybody's in the Don Callis family. It's like half the roster.
100%. It's the new NWO.
Yes,
it's just not cool and no edge.
Ryan, I don't know if you saw it when most of them in the Don Callis family announced, but at Full Gear, Takeshita basically told Okada on the spot, "I will also be in the Continental Classic." And Don Callis was like, "Okay, great. An even better chance for a member of the Don Callis family to come away the Continental Championship."
Stupid.
And then
hilarious.
Kyle Fletcher comes in and also announces. So I think you have Kyle Fletcher and Okada tonight. Am I wrong on that? Hang on, let me make sure here.
So
Darby Allin, Kevin Knight, we got John Moxley, Mascara Dorada, and indeed Kyle Fletcher versus Kazuchika Okada. Let me pull this up real quick.
That could main event a Backlash.
I mean, this could main event an AEW pay-per-view right now.
I agree. Kyle Fletcher, who are we talking to today? Slick, wasn't it ESPN's top 30 wrestlers under 30?
Yeah, 30
Kyle
under
Fletcher's
30.
Number 2, Ryan.
Can you guess who's number one?
Number 1.
Who's the number one wrestler under 30?
Yep,
Yep.
30 under 30. Yep.
Is it MJF?
Nope.
No, great guess.
Is MJF over 30 years old?
Oh,
Probably
that's
close.
no. I think he's just a bit older than me, so he's under 30.
But he's not number one. Is he on the list?
He's definitely on the list. We got to confirm
okay.
where.
Number one. No, I don't know. Who is it?
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh my! Well, listen, the guy moves merch. He gets the biggest pops and the biggest boos. He's a tweener right now, right?
Yeah.
At some
for
point,
sure.
he could go face, and everyone they'd love it.
Well, the thing is,
three-
I feel like they were picking up on the fact that the crowd was starting to put him over, and they
Right.
were like, "All right, fuck it, we'll have you interrupt John Cena on his farewell tour. Just have you get right back into heel mode."
Right
I've
back in
heard
heel
of-
mode.
I've heard of everyone on this list except for number 10. We've got 3 Rhea Ripley, 4 MJF, 5 Stratton, 6 Braun Breaker, 7 Blake Monroe, 8 Obafemi, 9 Roxanne Perez at 24, which is a pretty great ranking. 10 Leon
be
Slater.
higher. Leon Slater, he's
TNA?
AEW. Maybe no, I think he's AEW.
I don't know. It says he's TNA on this one, but
Oh, okay,
right.
could be.
yeah, so we'll see. But very interesting to see there. And yeah, Continental Classic predictions. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, I expect it to be a Don Callis family.
Yeah,
feud.
I think. Do you think it does come down, Maniac, to Okada Takeshita?
That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
for sure. Takeshita is
that would
so
be
good.
incredible.
I love Takeshita, man. Damn.
He's amazing.
Mhm. They give them a little bit of time before that final match to have a couple verbal jabs and barbs that are leading up to it. Absolutely.
Couple
sir.
bitches.
All right. Well, speaking of jabs, barbs, and everything in between, I came up with a little idea. You know, we could have thrown in some, war games predictions or whatever, but let's face it, that's gonna be a bunch of craziness. You can start to get a bigger picture, like we said, after this month, and especially at the Royal Rumble, of what'll be the. Oh, look at that! Speaking of a main event, here.
This guy.
I wanted to put.
Right.
That's a good looking feline if I've ever seen
Oh
one.
yeah.
This is Watson. Sherlock's somewhere around here, but we got the two
Okay,
of them.
Watson.
Great
Look at that.
names.
Yeah.
And great balance. Look at that.
Seriously, teamwork right there. Speaking of which, all right, so we wanted to put this together. We're all gonna lock one in. What is gonna be the WrestleMania 43 main event?
Oh man.
I will
Let's
kick
see.
it off. I can't see Cody losing the title in between now and then, just because it's been like kind of a
43?
stagnant situation. Yeah, dude, that's 5 months away. What's he gonna lose at
Dude,
Royal Rumble?
isn't 42 next?
No, I think it's 43.
It's 43.
I think so.
Or is it 42? Or no, it's 42. Sorry. 42.
Dude,
Wait, that's not,
I was
hand
going
up,
to say
hand
that
up, hand up, hand up, hand up.
completely different
Yeah,
conversation.
43 is too far. Let's face it. Nobody on the internet cares what's going to be happening in 18
Completely
months.
different conversation.
5 to 6 months from now. No, I want something more reasonable. 5 to 6 months from now, WrestleMania 42, part 2 in Vegas. I think we got Cody Rhodes. I hate to say this. Against Roman Reigns. I think we got part 3 at the WrestleMania. It's going to be a trifecta. They'll look back at it. They wanted to do it. And truthfully, I think Rhodes wins, and then I think he loses it at SummerSlam to somebody. That's my take from that trajectory.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So I'll tell you what I want, and then I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. What I want
Probably
is The
two
Rock.
very different things.
Yeah, I want The Rock to be back. I want to see The Rock. I want to be back. I want him to smack talk everyone. I have the mana coming through here. I want to see the whole thing. What we're going to get, I think, is what you just mentioned, but here's where I think it's going to differ. I think by that time, maybe if they're smart, because things might get stale, what if at some point between now and then, maybe with something happening at Royal Rumble, what if, because if Cody's still the champ, he can't be in the Rumble, right? Theoretically.
Yes.
What if he somehow gets himself involved and we actually have Roman versus Cody, but in that scenario, Cody's the bad guy? What if we get a heel turn Cody? Because they've been teasing that.
If that happens, that's the case.
Yeah, I think that that's coming. I think that at some point they're going to see the writing on the wall with that, and they've got to turn him heel. Because again, things, I don't want to say stale, but I don't know. Cody is the good guy all the time. I can't have it for 2.5 years. We got to have some other stuff happening.
So I was Yeah, I'm on the same page as Maniac, but I'm on the same page as you as well, Ryan, because I really thought they were going to turn Cody heel at SummerSlam versus Cena. He
Yep.
was already getting the booze walking out, and he was
Right.
doing dastardly stuff like unbuckling the turnbuckle, using it
Yes.
against Cena.
Oh
It
yeah.
was very apparent, at least we thought, that they were going to do something and have Cody maybe switch up his persona. Ended up not. I think that is coming. And it's exactly like Maniac said, it's Cody versus Roman, and that's because Roman enters the Rumble, wins it, and then we have Cody Roman at WrestleMania. I'm kind of leaning with you, Maniac, that even if Cody's heel, he retains that and puts someone over. Because I was thinking about this when you sent the rundown. I was thinking 43. I don't know if this would be main event title worthy, but I think 43 is the inaugural in Saudi Arabia, and I'm very convinced that Roman and The Rock are wrestling on that card.
Oh man, that would be
Yeah,
incredible.
that's totally believable and totally ridiculous, but we'll see. That's why wrestling is wrestling. So thank you for joining us for a ridiculously good time on this episode of Wrestling with Emotion. Huge shout out to our guest, Ryan Hasenauer, as we get ready for an AEW Dynamite on deck for Thanksgiving Eve, and obviously a massive Survivor Series War Games this weekend. Any final thoughts, boys?
Just enjoy the weekend. Whoever has a good time, doesn't eat too much tomorrow. And go Purple Eagles, go Bandits. It's going to be a great weekend.
What Thanksgiving side is your Money in the Bank, Ryan?
Oh, stuff. Quick story. I never liked stuffing until I got married, and my wife's like, just try it. Just try it again. You had it a long time when you were a kid, you didn't like it. I want to eat nothing but stuffing now at Thanksgiving.
Dude, it's a
So
game changer.
many years of lost time with stuffing, but I'm making up for it now.
Maybe I'm a stuffing hater. I might have to check it out. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll turn face on stuffing. Make sure you turn face on your family. Enjoy those cousin walks. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend coming up. And of course, get to Batavia Downs for Black Friday and much more to close out 2025 and always win more, lots more in 2026. Because this is the show, Slick, where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion.